Hello and welcome to another episode or presentation of the Work It series. Today we're going to be doing Link It, which is LinkedIn tips and practices to advance your career. So that's what we're going to be kind of focusing in on is LinkedIn and kind of those networking websites and how to best leverage them and best use them. Before we really get into today's presentation, I want to explain who I am, who this office is. My name is John Folger. I'm a career advisor. I'm the senior career advisor for Dornsife Career Pathways. So we are the career center specifically for Dornsife students. Every college has their own kind of career center dedicated to them, as well as the central career center here on campus. So Dornsife Career Pathways works specifically with Dornsife students on a myriad of different things. So one-on-one advising, we have a podcast that I do. We have this Work It series. We have a mentorship program. We have so many programs. Check out our website, Dornsife Career Pathways. You can just Google it, and we're kind of the first one that pops up. As well, I want to give a short plug for our Instagram page. Follow us on Instagram so that you can get up-to-date information on all of the events that are coming up, as well as some pretty cool kind of career advice. This is the QR code, as well as our handle is at USC Dornsife CP. Please follow us on Instagram, on the social media. I know you guys are kind of bombarded with different social media pages you probably follow, but I highly recommend that you follow this one as well, just to kind of be in the know of what events are happening in conjunction with our office. So this is a really great resource for you guys. So the agenda for today, what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about LinkedIn, what is LinkedIn, tools, uses, how to best set up your profile, and then how do you utilize LinkedIn for not only career exploration, but also networking, jobs and internships as an additional resource. So when you are setting up your LinkedIn profile, you want to start with some sort of kind of profile photo, something that looks like you. So when somebody's looking you up on LinkedIn, and people will look you up on LinkedIn, they know who they're looking at. You want a professional picture, a professional headshot. There's a number of professional headshot events that happen around campus, or getting something where it is very clear who you are and what you are about. Next, you want to have your name and just kind of general information about you. Then, kind of underneath that, if there's any featured posts, articles, links, or media, we want that. And then background. Your background is going to read very, very, very similar to your resume. You can kind of think of your LinkedIn background kind of area of experiences and stuff like that, kind of like a resume that is posted to the world. So you do kind of want to keep it relatively general rather than the specific way we want you to write your resume of you're tailoring it to a position. Your LinkedIn background, experience, education, volunteer experiences, we want to keep kind of general but informative of this is who you are, this is what you've done. Next, we want accomplishments, skills, badges, recommendations, and interests. I'm going to show you my LinkedIn profile. This is by far not a perfect LinkedIn profile. There's certainly things that I could do better, but this is just kind of a general example of what we want it to look like. Let's give it a second for taking too long. Try this version. So for me, we have where I'm working currently, some sort of banner background, professional picture of myself, name, job title, the about section, what I'm about, and then experiences, just kind of tying into what I do, how I do it, how long I've been at different places. So this is just kind of a general outline of what we want it to look like. We will be using my profile in the future as well, for an example. So utilizing LinkedIn, why it matters, why you should use it. LinkedIn is probably the #1 kind of job networking site in the world. There is something like 330 million users on LinkedIn right now. It is kind of the standard thing to have. Most professionals, most alumni, whoever you're searching for, are going to have a LinkedIn. And I recommend you do too. It is certainly possible, well, relatively unlikely, but it is possible that employers will also look for people who have certain LinkedIn profile keywords. So if you're searching for work, employers can look for you on LinkedIn. So it is very important that you have a LinkedIn, that you keep it up to date, and that you use it. Like I said, it is kind of a industry standard across all industries to have some sort of LinkedIn profile so that you can be found and people can know a little bit about you. So I recommend using it. Bottom line, use it. So a really good kind of way to know, A, what can I do with a major? Who is working in that major? What companies work in a specific job field? Or how to find alumni. One of the best ways is through the University of Southern California's page. We're going to be going to this. You go to their page. It looks like this. You type in University of Southern California, view page. You're going to see all of these different titles: home, about, posts, jobs, alumni, events, videos. We're going to focus in on the alumni tab. On the alumni tab, you can search for alumni. You can search for alumni by title, so by their name, by a keyword, by the company they work for, and you can see what alumni are working where. So for example, if you are an economics major, you can go to the alumni tab, type in economics, and you can see who has that designation, who is working in economics, where they work, where they live, generally speaking, and more information about them. And then you can reach out to those individuals. So a short kind of demo on this process. So we're going to go back to my LinkedIn. We're going to search University of Southern California. View page. We'll go to alumni. And then we're going to search, for this one, we're going to search specifically for psychology. So if I type in psychology, there are 6,918 alumni who have something to do with psychology. So we can see where they work, University of Southern California. So some of these are going to be students currently in as well. Maybe it might be a psych major, somebody to kind of connect with. Department of Veteran Affairs, different places where they work, basically, where they live, what they do. So you can search by what they do. So if you're looking specifically into consulting, you want to combine psychology, you're a psychology major, and you want to look at consulting as well. You can see where they work, where they live, what they do, what they're skilled at, what they studied. You can then go and follow and connect with the alumni or professionals who work in those areas. So that's just kind of a brief kind of example of how to use the alumni tab for LinkedIn, as well for the University of Southern California, for USC. If you are interested in jobs, you can click on the jobs tab. This will let you know what sort of jobs are available here at USC, as well as other organizations and companies. If you were to look up an organization, they're going to have a jobs tab, and then you can search for jobs specifically with that company from there. So as you're kind of looking for these alumni that I showed you, going to the alumni tab, putting in your major, putting in the general career field that you're interested in, or putting in a company, you then want to reach out to these people. You want to connect with them. And how you want to connect with them, a good kind of example of doing this is sending them a message. Remember that you are limited in your word counts. You want to keep it short, sweet, and to the point. Just kind of general information as well. Not everyone checks their LinkedIn. About 1 in 8 people reply to cold call/networking. So in order to get some answers back, and especially answers in the affirmative that they are willing to meet with you, you are going to want to reach out to many, many people, not just one or two. Be authentic with what you're doing and do your research on these people. So when you're reaching out via LinkedIn, an example of this is you want to create mutual connections as much as you possibly can. So for example, hi, Sarah, my name is John, this example, Jeff. I'm a biology major at USC. Our mutual connection, Lena, recommended I reach out to you regarding some questions I have about the field. You have 5 or 10 minutes to connect for an informal chat or informational chat. That's the best connection you can make, is somebody that you know both together, this Lena person. As much as possible, you want to create as many connections as you possibly can. So another example of this is a straight up cold message, which is, hi, Brandon, my name is Mary. I'm a student studying economics at USC. I found your profile while researching alumni and marketing roles within the entertainment industry and wanted to ask if you would be open to answering a few informational questions. I appreciate a quick 5 to 10 minute chat, but if you do not have time, I'd really appreciate adding you to my network. Looking forward to your response, Mary. So what this person is doing in this cold message is they are creating as many connections as they possibly can, letting them know that they're a student at USC. This person, if you're going off the alumni tab, was also a student at USC. So creating that connection. I found your profile while researching alumni and marketing roles, letting them know that you have done your research, you know who they are, the reason you're talking to them. You want to then make your ask, which is a quick conversation. That's kind of where you want to start with these networking opportunities. These conversations to gain more information, build your network, get to know the person, let yourself know if they are somebody that you want to add to your network, or if you're somebody that they can add to their network. Remember, networking is kind of a two-way street. It's what we want to keep open and available to everyone. So you're going to be sending out a lot of these cold messages. Again, you want to make as many connections as you possibly can. Let them know that you studied something similar, you're a student at USC, you're interested in what they're doing for such and such reason, and make your ask, which is whether that's adding them to your network, an informational interview. I do not recommend starting with the, hey, do you have a job for me conversation. You want to build that personal relationship first, and then those types of conversations can come later. So these are some good kind of templates for LinkedIn messaging and networking. So kind of a different example of this template is introduce yourself. Is there something you can connect on? Again, the more connections you make, whether that's a person that you both know, an industry you have both worked in, however many connections you can make, you want to bring those up. And then you want to make your ask. Say, this is what I need from you. This is what I'm interested in. If they agree, set up a Zoom call. If they disagree, ask to add their network. Ask if they can connect you to somebody else. Maybe they don't have the time to really connect with you and do those informational interviews and kind of have that meeting. But maybe they have somebody that you should talk to, or maybe they are the wrong person for what you're asking for. But ask if they can refer you to somebody who would be the right person. That's kind of the template for these messages. Before we get into informational interviews, something that I did not include in these slides, but I want to tell you about, is there is another website that is very, very similar to LinkedIn, but is specific to USC. It is called the Trojan Network. If you Google USC Trojan Network, it will take you to that website. It is very, very similar to LinkedIn, but is only USC students and alumni. I highly, highly recommend you create a profile on the Trojan Network, as well as a profile on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Give me one moment. Highly, highly recommend you set up not an appointment, you create a profile on the Trojan Network. Again, that is USC Trojan Network. This is a networking site. It is built for networking. It's built for reaching out to alumni. I somewhat maybe prefer it more than LinkedIn for networking. So I highly, highly recommend you utilize that. Now, once you have connected with somebody, what you want to be doing is called an informational interview. If you are unsure what an informational interview is, it's exactly what the name implies. You are interviewing for information. You're asking them questions such as, how would you describe your work environment? How would you describe a typical work day? Do you have to have any practical experience or training other than college? Asking, what is it like day in and day out? If you need examples, I highly, highly recommend you look us up on Ask John. Again, you can find that on the USC Dornsife Career Pathways website, as well as we are on Spotify and a few other podcasting sites. And we have currently about, I want to get this number right, right around 10 to 12 episodes of informational interviews. So you can see what it's like. It's an easy conversation. I don't want to scare you with kind of that formal title of informational interview. It's just meeting with the person for a short amount of time, asking questions, getting to know the person, and trying to get a little bit of a better idea of what it's like day in and day out in that job field. Now, another benefit to LinkedIn is you can use it as a job searching website. I'm going to give a little presentation on this, or a little example of this, I should say, on my LinkedIn as well. You can set up job functions. You can set up salary research, easy apply, recommended jobs. As with any kind of job searching website, the more filters you use, the more specific of positions you're going to find. So if you just put in psychology, you're going to get thousands of options. But if you put in psychology with a certain degree level, a certain start date, with a certain salary wanted, you're going to get much more specific. So there are pros and cons to adding more filters. The pros are that you're going to have more specific jobs, but there is going to be less of them. So a real quick example of how to do this on LinkedIn. We're going to, again, go to mine. We're going to go to jobs. You're going to go to your jobs tab. Then you're going to type in something that you're interested in. Again, I am going to go for psychology. Like I said, just putting something very, very general options. So right now we have 226,000 different options. That's not what I wanted. Okay. So what I recommend you do when you're using LinkedIn as a job searching site is apply filters. Most recent, most relevant, date posted, experience level. So if you're looking specifically for internships, filter for internships. You don't want to be messing around with these different experience levels. Set the job postings level that you're wanting, the experience level. What company do you want to be working for? You can search by company. What is posted? What sort of job type? Again, internship. Is it remote? Location? So many filters. Use filters. Filters are your friend because that will narrow it down from 226,000 down to a more manageable number. This is a great alternative option to some of the other job sites that you might be using, such as Handshake, such as Indeed, Glassdoor. LinkedIn is a great kind of another option. When you are applying to jobs, you want as many options as you possibly can have. So I recommend you using it. Set up those job alerts. That way it's kind of doing the work for you. There are easy apply jobs where you can, it's kind of a one-click button where you already upload your resume and it's an easier application, like the name suggests. So use LinkedIn. If you get nothing else from this presentation today, use LinkedIn. It is important. It's important to have one. Do employers always 100% look at your LinkedIn? No, but sometimes they do. And it is better to have it whether you need it or not. It is better to have it to reach out to professionals, to set up those informational interviews, to start talking to them about what they do, to start building those relationships that can lead to employment, to use it as a job and internship search site. It's a fantastic resource. It's kind of the industry standard for across all industries, like I said earlier. So a huge population of people are on LinkedIn. So it's a fantastic resource. It's a fantastic place for job searching and other things like that. So when you are creating your profile, some ways to kind of promote it so it is more easily found by employers. You can do open to work option where if somebody is looking for employees, they can filter for open to work from their employer end, and they will see those who have that designation on their profile. Messaging other people, researching alumni, utilizing LinkedIn Learning if you have kind of a premium account. You can write an article, you can post content, you can follow influencers and companies and see what they're talking about. You can look for positions, you can put what positions you're open to. You do want to kind of add, the more details you have, it's like anything else. The more information you have, the more information you can utilize. So in summary, we talked about different ways to use LinkedIn as a career readiness tool, identify best practices, and understand how to use LinkedIn for networking, career research, and job and internship search. Again, use LinkedIn. If you are not using LinkedIn, I, again, highly recommend the Trojan Network. If you just Google USC the Trojan Network, it will take you to the link to the People Grove website for that. Use something. Ideally, you want to be meeting with alumni, recruiters, whoever you're talking to in person. That's for those in-person events, career fairs, employer opportunities here on campus. You absolutely want to be doing those as well. But LinkedIn and the Trojan Network make it so you can do it from home. They make it a little bit easier to do so. So just a reminder again, follow us on Instagram, go to our website, USC Dornsife Career Pathways, so that you can gain all of the information. You can hear more of these presentations. We will be posting these. They will be found on YouTube, so you can go back and listen to them. Or if you're listening to this in the future, thank you for joining us. And we will now get to individual questions of those who are attending live. Again, thank you so much, and fight on.